Oh yeah, I could play that game basically forever.
Hey, welcome to Egghead Anarchy. I'm Alex.
Hey, I'm Brian.
And today we're doing a special episode.
That's right. So it's been kind of a slow week for games that are not Overwatch and movies in general. I mean, there's some stuff, some Rogue One rumors that have recently been debunked, a couple things like that. But we decided that this week we were going to have a little bit more of an intimate episode, just us kind of sitting down, talking about stuff and sharing ideas back and forth. We do everything from talking about some movies, talking about Watchmen, talking about My Little Pony, talking about Warhammer, talking a little bit about, well, I veer into talking a little bit about religion, politics, and then Alex mercifully steered me back.
There's Brian talking, getting very serious, and then silence as I just look at Brian like, what is?
Just stop.
It's too heavy, man. It's too heavy. And then we bring it back to something else.
That's right. Then we talk about My Little Pony.
And we talked about the X-Men movies a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And neither of us have seen it's apparently not Age of Apocalypse, even though I keep thinking it is. Right. X-Men Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, yeah.
So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this. I think it should be called Egghead Anarchy Under the Shell. But Brian didn't seem to like that when I tried to run it by him.
Okay, sorry. I miscommunicated. So I like the name Egghead Anarchy Under the Shell. I was just saying that we're Egghead Anarchy. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Oh, okay.
So we're not necessarily breaking form doing this.
This is more of a normal conversation that's coming up for you. Brian doesn't even realize we're recording until like 15 minutes in.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, have fun, guys.
Yes. When I think of Mobius now, I think of Sonic the Hedgehog, the cartoon.
Oh, Mobius, the planet Mobius.
Yep.
Not Jean-Gerard Mobius.
No. I didn't even know he was an artist.
The Frenchman.
Before you said that.
Oh, okay. A lot of people got really into him when he died a few years. You know how everybody gets more popular.
Oh, yeah.
When they die, yeah.
Yeah.
I really didn't know who he was before that. And then he died, and I was like, oh.
Oh, so he's pretty recent?
Like 2013.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, and then he died, and I was like, oh, okay. He was popular, apparently. And then years later, I watched Jodorowsky's Dune, the documentary.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that. I want to see that really bad.
It's crazy good, and you watched it, too. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah. What happened was that all the artwork and like they did the whole thing in storyboard, the whole movie, and it was all drawn by Jean-Gerard Mobius. And then that got me interested in Jodorowsky, and I went and started reading Jodorowsky comics, a lot of which are drawn by Mobius, and I was like, holy shit, these are amazing. They have these like beautiful gradients and like really just amazing looking like coloring and it's ridiculous. And I'm like, how do they do this? Like on a printing press, how would you do this? Like so this is a comic from the 70s. Like,
wow.
Like how is this printed? Like, did they have like big, like it's not like on an inkjet. Like, I guess there's gotta be ways that they used to do them, but they're crazy beautiful. And I was like, how do they do this? How do you even draw something like this without using a computer? Like, how do you achieve these gradients? Like, do you use an airbrush? Like, what?
Wow. Maybe I should check that out. I've been wanting to get into comics for a while. I just started a couple nights ago reading Einstein's like the book that he wrote, like the layman's introduction to general relativity, whatever. It's hilarious because like it's supposed to be a layman's introduction. And it's still pretty fucking dense. Like, and just the way that it's written, like it's 100 years old. And so like everything's a run-on sentence. Like all the paragraphs are 2 sentences long, but they're like 100 words. It's like, oh my God. But it's really kind of interesting. I'm only a few pages in because I read so slow, but It's really, I'm really fascinated to read it. But once I'm done with that,
But it's not a comic.
No.
Okay.
Sorry. So I was saying like I want to start reading more comics, but I just started this.
Okay.
But I read Watchmen. Kind of a weird thing. Like I haven't finished it yet, and I kind of don't want to. It's kind of like with games. I don't finish games a lot.
Really?
Sometimes because I don't want it to end. You know what I mean? Like I don't want the world to end. Or
You
the
should
story
finish
to end.
Watchmen. Also, Watchmen is not ended. There's still Watchmen stuff going on.
But the guy, like Alan Moore,
yeah,
like he said, it's done. Like the story was done.
Yeah, that's true. But DC owns it, so they're going to keep doing stuff with it.
I'm not going to fucking read it.
Actually, some of it sounds really interesting. Before Watchmen came out to a resounding, yeah, I mean, okay, I guess. Like, I don't think that was doing great.
I thought the movie was pretty good. Like
the movie was
even
pretty
having
good.
read most like. So
Alan Moore.
I'm up to the part where, like I guess the last chapter where like there's all the people on the clock.
Yeah,
I assume that's the last chapter.
Okay.
But like I think all of the deviations from the comic so far in the movie were really smart, and I thought they were very good. Like not having the black whatever the pirate ship thing in there, I thought was a really smart move.
it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of things going on. That like they just had to, like they couldn't have all these side stories that are analogous to the main story.
Yep.
There are a lot of the reason why Watchmen is really interesting, but also are not going to be in a film because the film is an hour and a half long.
Yes.
Like that's it, the end.
Yep.
And Alan Moore also loves to write big, long, huge pages of tons of text.
Yeah.
And those...
Lots of exposition, lots of monologues.
No, I mean at the end of chapter text segments.
Oh, yeah. All the dossier stuff and the,
which are important to the story.
Yeah.
And also wildly boring a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought it was good for world building, but they were not the best parts of it.
Yeah. The first time I read it, I read all of them. And then times that I've gone back, I've not read all of them. Maybe I've read some of them, but some of them I'm like, I'm not reading this one. This one's boring.
So far they all seem superfluous, like to the core story. Like, again, it's good world building, I think, and good character development, but none of them seem to relate back to anything that goes on elsewhere in the story. And it almost seems like...
I mean, they relate back to stuff that's going on, especially...
But I mean, I'm sorry. What I mean is nothing later in the story refers back to anything in there. Like they kind of tie up and provide backstory for things that have already come.
Stuff does relate back to what was in those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff where, but you could figure it out. Like you wouldn't not understand the story without them.
You know what? That's actually true because like there are several things, especially like the newspaper clippings that talk about the guy that the people, was it the one or two guys responsible for the comic? What's the pirate? What is that called again?
The Black Pirate, Black
something. I keep wanting to say Black Flag, but that doesn't.
I want to say
right.
Black Pearl, but that's that other movie.
Oh
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Curse of the Black Pearl or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. The black thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like there are things about that in those, and that absolutely, you're right. Like that ties in forward or whatever.
There's also stuff that really relates to the character's parentage that comes up later, where there's a lot of stuff where you're like, I understand how that happened and why. And
the whole what's her name, the Owl Man or whatever, the girl that he was seeing and her mom. They talk about that and like her relationship with the comedian. They go into in that because there's like the news stories that they talk about,
and there's some other stuff too. Like there's stuff about Vite that explains why he's able to catch a bullet at the end. Yeah, like if you weren't paying attention to those little, like I think there's an ad for like the Vite workout program. Yeah, which is knocking off like the Mr. Atlas stuff. But it's Vite, and it's like, you'll be so strong, you could catch a bullet or whatever. And then later he catches a bullet, and you're like, oh, okay, that was explained earlier by this. Yeah. But if you weren't reading that stuff, you'd still be like, okay, he caught a bullet. He's a superhero. I guess they can do that. Like, you wouldn't be wildly lost, but it does provide back information for a lot of stuff. And it provides, like, other stuff. Like, I think the only thing that really you might get a little confused about is the origin of the weird alien monster and what's going on with that comic book writer.
I'm still,
because
I know there's something going on there because they have the people on that island, and they're the ship or something, and on the cruise and it explodes, and like I still really don't know where that's going. I've talked to people about the comic before, and apparently something shows up and something weird happens at the end. But yeah, like I can see something coming, but I feel like it's going to be really weird. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, the stuff sets it up.
Finish it.
But also, like, the story stuff between chapters explains who that guy on the island is.
Yeah.
You might miss that without that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because he's the guy who wrote those pirate comics. Mm-hmm. And just without the little article that's like, man who writes pirate comics mysteriously missing. Some other weird artists missing. Mm-hmm. Isn't that interesting? You'd be like, who is this guy again? Why did he show up and then die? Yeah. That's weird. But yeah, like I was saying, Watchmen, they did before Watchmen, but also DC Rebirth. The new...
Wait, Watchmen is DC?
Watchmen is DC, yeah.
Holy crap, I didn't even know.
It's not... It was not part of the regular DC universe. But now, because of DC Rebirth, shit, if somebody cares about DC Rebirth, there are spoilers in here. And there's a little bit of a spoiler before I said that, but that's a spoiler. But DC Rebirth...
Wait, are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
I didn't even know we were recording.
DC Rebirth has whatchamacallit. It has Watchmen in it. The whole reason Rebirth happens is because of Big Blue guy. Dr. Manhattan, yeah. So he's the one who kind of causes Rebirth to happen, which then is now resetting some of the universe, but changing some of the universe. They killed New 52 Superman. He's dead now. They brought back original Superman.
Which probably made you very happy.
I know.
Just killing a Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way Dr. Manhattan is handled much better in the book than in the movie. In the movie, I felt like he was just a very melancholy... I mean...
A very melancholy guy who I saw too much of his dick.
Yeah. I mean... I appreciated that just because I'm so sick and tired of seeing so many boobs on screen.
No,
dicks,
absolutely. That also, I think that film has the most awkward sex scene of any film that I've ever seen.
Oh, right, with Owlman, are you talking about the Dr. Manhattan one?
No, the Owlman one.
Which I'm sorry, I laughed in the theater. I fucking love that scene. That scene is awesome because it's these like washed up, middle-aged super, like they're not sexy. They don't know what I think it's desperation sex. You know what I mean?
It goes on too long, like way too long.
Oh, you mean like it was not well made? Not that the characters were awkward. You mean it was like.
Oh, yeah, it's awkward to watch.
Okay. Maybe I should go back and see it again, because to me it didn't really feel that way.
I felt like
the characters were awkward.
Oh, okay. I felt awkward in the theater where I was like, this has gone on too long.
I see.
It just needs to end.
Okay.
It's too much. There's too much. Like, is this about to become a porno? Like, is that...
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
like, it's too much and it's too long and you need to cut away.
Well, and like, we definitely didn't need to see her boobs. Like, when she unzipped the thing, it's just like, nah. Yeah. Overall, though, I really...
The movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
Also...
I liked it a lot. And I think focusing on Rorschach was a very good move.
Yeah.
Because without all the extra side stuff, he's definitely the most compelling character in the book.
He has a really interesting arc. I like to talk about his arc because he doesn't have an arc. He changes not at all
as a character. What are you talking about an arc? He doesn't have an arc.
But what changes is pretty much you change your opinion of him as the story goes along.
Oh,
and you haven't completely completed it yet. But it starts off and he's like, these whores, I'll not save them. Fuck them. And you're like, wow, this guy's a fucking dickhole. I hate this guy. But then as it goes on, you're like you kind of, it's more like, oh, you kind of respect him and then you feel sorry for him.
Well, and it kind of explains a little bit where he came from. Mm-hmm. Just he's been shit on his whole entire life.
And then, too, when the world gets really dark, like the ending, and he's like at the end, you haven't finished the end of it.
I mean, to be honest, you can spoil it because I've actually I think I'm changing my opinion on spoilers because I've read a few things recently where people are talking about like, why the fuck does everyone care about spoilers so much? And George R. R. Martin actually said this at one point. He's like, if something is well written, spoiling it won't hurt anything because it'll still be amazing when you read it, even if you see it coming.
I think I don't want to see spoilers most of the time for stuff that I'm going to see, especially if I'm going to see it like tomorrow, because I'm just going to see it tomorrow.
Yeah,
you might as well just let me see it.
Yeah.
But I think the Shoddycast did a video and they talked about spoilers. Shoddycast YouTube channel.
Okay.
And they said that marking stuff as having spoilers and complaining at people for putting spoilers in it is kind of annoying. And also that he never gets complaints about people who have had it spoiled for them and now they're upset. Just people complaining that someone could have had it spoiled for them.
Oh, yeah.
And that the thing that everybody does if they don't want spoilers is avoid stuff. They don't click on a YouTube video that is about that thing. So I think it kind of makes sense. And he says, like, the best way to do it is not to mark things that do have spoilers, especially because that gets weird for properties that are like 100 years old to mark it for spoilers. It's 100 years old.
Yeah.
And things like Darth Vader is Luke's father. Everyone knows that. People who haven't seen the film know that. It's not a spoiler because everyone knows.
It's a cultural thing.
It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
And so it makes more sense to label things as spoiler-free, specifically if they're spoiler-free, rather than labeling them as having spoilers. And that makes a lot of sense to me.
That's interesting because I've seen... I didn't even think about this before you said that, but that's what I see, is I don't see people saying... Well, sometimes I see like different people, but I see a lot more of the spoiler-free. And like, for example, Jeff Kanata was Civil War. Yeah. Like his review of Civil War, he said spoiler-free. I was like, oh, good, I can watch this. And so I went ahead and watched it. But then like people like MovieBot, like when he does his reviews, he'll do whatever, well, kind of like what we do, like where there's no spoilers. And then when there is a spoiler coming up, he does the whole warning, gives it like the 5-second video thing is like, you know, stop watching now, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. But it's always at the end. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm done. I'm not going to watch the rest. It's no big deal. But like a good example of something that has been spoiled for me, and I don't particularly care because I think it's going to be good anyway, is the Hodor thing. From Game of Thrones. Like, have you followed? Do you follow Game of Thrones?
You can spoil it for me because I completely stopped watching it.
Okay, so I'll get HBO now at some point again, probably when this season is done, so I can just binge the whole thing.
That's what I feel like too, but I might not again. So we'll just see.
From everything I've been hearing, this season is good, mainly because the story's picking up. It's moving much faster than it did in previous seasons. Yeah, and part of that is because they're not limited by the books. Like they're not sticking to the books.
It also had dumb characters like Robb Stark, who sucks, and I hate him.
Robb Stark.
He got killed in the Red Wedding. He was the head of the Stark clan for a while, and he was having a war. Him? He's so boring.
Well, that's the whole point of their whole family. Okay. Is that they're the straight men and they're like boring.
His story was really boring, and it was just all making decisions that were obviously bad decisions.
But he was making them because he thought they were good, sound decisions in the context of the situation. But we know the world and that it's evil and that anything that anyone tries to do that's good is going to turn around. But he didn't. Like in the world, he was just trying to do the stand-up thing.
Point is, I was really glad about the Red Wedding. People were like, I'm upset about this. I was like...
Oh, I was fucking furious. And I got kind of sick. That was so goddamn violent. Like, everybody fucking died. Like, I've never seen a scene in a movie or a TV show that violent. Like, that was nuts.
Seriously, they killed all the characters that I didn't like in that. So I was like, yes, I won't have to watch any of these people again.
Well, so for me, it wasn't that they died, and it wasn't that they killed them. It was that I thought it was just going to be good. Yeah. Like, I was like, finally, the Starks get something. No, they're all dead. Like, they're all dead. And like they didn't do anything. Except they didn't do anything, to deserve any of it.
The kids were still alive. Raisin Bran and Arya.
Oh, the three kids, yeah. And I'm very interested to see where they're going.
So the Hodor thing.
So the Hodor thing. So I just have So do you
obviously we're going to spoil this. No, just go ahead. Okay, talk about it.
So I haven't seen it, but just fucking Facebook. Nerdist actually is the one who spoiled this for me. Just scrolling through the feed. So it's basically you find out why Hodor only says the word Hodor. That that's it. and it's like not an abbreviation, but it's a shortened version of hold the door. That's like, and that's how I don't know the details because I haven't seen, but that's how he dies. Like apparently there's some door and people are trying to escape and he holds it up and like people are saying something and he just keeps saying like Hodor over and over and over again. And I guess you realize watching it that what he's trying to say is hold the door. Like that's what I'm supposed to do. And somehow he dies because of that. And like even just saying that, I get chills. Like that's because watching what I've watched of the show, like that's fucking brilliant. So like I don't care that was spoiled. That's awesome.
I don't understand at all what that is supposed to be.
That like
he was fated to die holding a door, or like he has a backstory about holding doors.
I really hope it's not that he was fated to, but it's just kind of this thing like
he was like, oh, this is the thing that I was supposed to do.
Yeah, like this is it. You know, like this is my thing. Yeah. Right. And because the big thing's been like, why the fuck does he only ever say Hodor? You know, maybe the books explain it. I don't know, but the show never did. You know what I mean? And so just that's it. Like that's why that's what he says. And so it gives his character much more weight. You know what I mean? Like it felt like again, not having seen it, it felt like his character was leading to something. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I find that wildly confusing in the way that doesn't seem to make any sense. Like I can see from a narrative perspective how his character was leading up to something. But from like a practical perspective, that doesn't explain why he says Hodor.
Well, no.
So I'm curious. I would like to know now more than ever if that's...
Well, and that's kind of my thought. Is like, I mean, technically it's been spoiled for me, but now I'm actually more interested in seeing it because I want to see the details and the nuance leading up to that.
It also explains to me why I saw a 3D printed Hodor doorstop.
Yes.
On the internet. Where I was like, that's weird. What's that for?
Oh, yeah. And like all the memes, like, you know, like girls find a man who will hold the door for you and like stuff like that. Yeah. So well, and did you read did we talk about before how, what was it? I think I saw this or heard this on the Half Hour Happy Hour podcast where they were saying that people take spoilers more seriously than PSAs. Like they take not spoiling things more seriously than like public service announcements.
Like in what do you mean?
Like they pay more attention to not spoiling something for someone else than gun safety, for example, or something. Like if a PSA is, you know, I don't know, fucking brush your teeth or something. Like they rank not spoiling something as more important than paying attention to the PSA for brushing your teeth.
I would say that I don't pay attention to PSAs as much as nearly anything.
Well, yeah, and I think like
that just seems like a low bar, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, and I think it's one of these things where, like, on the surface, you're like, what the fuck? That's so weird. But at the same, it's like we're so far removed from most anything that's dangerous, really, that I think like why I care? Like we drive, you know, 2,000-pound missiles every single day. Everywhere we go, and we don't even give it a second thought. There are dangerous chemicals around us all the time, and we're fine. So I think it's like we don't care, but we get really invested in the shows that we watch, in the movies, and the characters, and all that kind of stuff.
I kind of think PSA is like, I'm especially thinking of stuff like how shows like cartoons used to have little PSAs at the end.
Oh yeah.
And I can remember
Knowing
those.
Is half the battle.
Well, I can remember those being educational.
Oh, absolutely.
As a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Now I already know antifreeze is deadly poisonous and also tastes good. So.
Does it really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow.
Antifreeze, it's like ethylene glycol, which is really sweet.
I'm glad I did not know that antifreeze tasted good when I was a kid, because I would not have cared that it was deadly, and I probably would have tried to eat it.
Yeah, so I mean, but that's already knowledge that I have. So, you know, PSA, you're like, okay, whatever. It's for kids. It's knowledge for kids.
Well, and kids today, like, I mean, what? Antifreeze is not new. Like, why I don't even know how many kids like know that antifreeze is in the car. You know what I mean?
I mean, you have to learn it evenally.
Oh, true,
everybody has to learn something.
You don't fuck with things in a car. Like if something goes in a car, you don't put it in your body. Like, and I think this is actually a good example.
You also don't leave it out. Like if you have a dog, though, like animals will eat it too.
That's okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't think cats. Maybe cats will. Cats don't normally go in for anything that's sweet. What I've been told, I don't know exactly how true this is that cats don't actually have taste buds to detect sweetness.
Interesting.
And so they don't normally, like, it has no attraction. Dogs will eat fucking anything, though.
That's true.
But cats
They
normally...
eat their own shit, so yeah.
Cats are normally more picky and don't normally go in for
fucking
stuff.
truth.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah, wait, where were we? Spoilers?
Hodor, Game of Thrones.
I agree with the spoilers. I think there's an over reliance on the no spoilers thing.
Yes.
I do like not having things spoiled to me if I'm gonna see it. I did listen to a bunch of spoiler stuff on Age of Apocalypse because I was like, I probably won't see this for a long time.
X-Men Apocalypse, you mean?
X-Men Age of Apocalypse.
No, it's just X-Men Apocalypse.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is the movie title anyway. I don't
Okay.
know what the comic title was, but yeah, the movie title, yeah.
But yeah, because I was like, I haven't seen First Class. I haven't seen...
You should... What? Oh my god. That is... Oh my god. That is tied with me. No, it's not even tied. It's better than X2. It's probably the best X-Men movie out. Aside from Apocalypse. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say. But of all the X-Men movies out,
Yeah.
First Class is the best. And then I would say X2 is second, and then the original one is third.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen X2. What's the plot of X2?
It starts with them breaking Magneto out of jail.
Don't like 3 movies start with that? X3 definitely starts with that.
No.
No, it doesn't?
No. X3 starts with Professor Xavier dying. Jean Grey kills him.
I thought that was at the end of...
Nope.
No, it's at the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I remember being super pissed.
I know. I was like, you can't kill Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, exactly.
Patrick Stewart is the best person in this film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh god, it was so bad. Yeah. Well, because then like you don't have a Magneto without a Professor X. You don't fucking do that. That's the whole point. Is that they're the yin and yang of each other.
But then they brought him back at the end, like the after credits scene in X3.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, he transferred his mind into the brain dead body of his identical twin brother. I love that got an audible like face palm.
Oh my god!
Because that's a weird plot point, isn't it?
That is a we fucked up. That's what that is. Oh my god! I can't. Oh, I have such mixed feelings about the X-Men movies. Like, so I haven't seen all of them. I've only seen X-Men, X2. Well, I saw 3, and then I saw First Class.
I've seen
like,
1.
I haven't seen the Origins or the Wolverines or whatever, because those just look like shit.
I've seen 1 and 3, and I'm not sure that I might have seen 2.
2 is definitely the best of like 1, 2, and 3. 2 is definitely.
But I can't remember. Was Nightcrawler in the first one, or was he only in the second one?
First one.
First one.
Nightcrawler has the tongue thing, right? No, that's Toad.
That's Toad. Nightcrawler teleports. He bamfs.
Shit, I can't remember now.
They're
all
anyway,
kind of running together a bit.
That's the other issue. But yeah, I never saw anything past 3, so I haven't seen First Class or any of the Wolverines.
First Class is really good. I think that was the first one with Michael Fassbender and whatever the other name is.
It was
Xavier, and they are really, really good. And it also has Kevin Bacon as the main antagonist, and he is really good, really good. There's one scene at the very end that is, in my opinion, the best scene in any of the X-Men movies. Like it's such a great scene for Professor Xavier and Magneto. Like it just so completely encapsulates their characters so well. Yeah. Oh god. And no, I won't say it because that's a spoiler. I don't want to because so it's a spoiler. I don't want to give you in that it's something that I think you like. It would distract you from the rest of the movie because you'd be waiting for it to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't. That's true. I think those spoilers, some spoilers can be really distracting.
Yeah, those are the ones that I don't like.
Depending, like what I was going to say about Watchmen is that Rorschach is basically the only one at the end who has absolute moral conviction that on his position, and that he's the only one with the integrity to stand up to his position, even though his position is not going to work out for him no matter what. There's nothing he can do, but he's the only one who's like, you will have to kill me to make me.
That's how it worked in the movie too.
Yeah. Oh, you've seen the movie, so you've already seen the ending. That's right. I'm sorry, I forgot that. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Manhattan actually
that's exactly
killed Rorschach.
But that's why you like Rorschach better at the end, because you're You're like, he's the only one who is like, no, mass murdering people is wrong.
Yes.
You can't do it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter why. You can't fucking mass murder people.
Yes.
You will have to kill me or I will do something about this.
Yep.
That's it. The end.
Yep.
There's no question. There's no like balancing this. Mm-hmm. You are wrong.
And that is the only reason Rorschach as a character works.
Yeah.
You know, because aside from that, he's the villain.
Yeah.
He's the bad guy. It's only at the very end where he's like, because that's, for me anyway, that's what gives the rest of the things that he does in the movie validity. I think it's like, you know what? He's a fucking psychopath, but he thinks that what he's doing is right. I think he's absolutely convinced that what he's doing is right.
The story about how he became Rorschach, too.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Is also gives a lot of where you're like, because he's very extreme. Like, he's crazy extreme. You're like, he's just like nuts. Like, and then it establishes why. It's like in this universe, these are the people. The person who like offhandedly killed a little girl, fed her to dogs. And he's like, he's cruel, but he's cruel because that is the person that he's dealing with. Yeah.
And I think it also says something very interesting about, well, God, Watchmen says so many things, but it also like, I think it like that specifically. I remember watching the movie, and I actually got physically ill during that whole thing. You know what I mean? Like during that whole reveal. In the movie.
That was rough.
Oh my God, that was so bad. But what like that I guess kind of too like I don't want to say it gave validity to what he did, but it's like it was this idea that, well, what do you do with these people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's easy on both sides. It's easy to say, well, you know, that person was sick and they need help and blah, 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 and we need to try to rehabilitate them. Okay. That's valid. That seems easy. And it's something, especially when you're talking about raping a girl, a little girl, and feeding her to dogs. And that just feels wrong. You know what I mean? But the opposite end of that as well, brutalizing and murdering that person, something doesn't feel right about that either. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you do? There's no right answer. Like, there really is no right answer. And in that situation, I think what the movie was saying, what the story was saying, is that it comes a point, like, there come points in everything where it's not about right or wrong. It's about doing something. Having the conviction to do something. And that's Rorschach. Like, Rorschach is, in 90% of cases, 95% of cases, Rorschach's black and white, absolute approach to things makes no sense whatsoever. And it's reductive, and it ends up always being violent, right? But in a very small number of cases, it's not even that it's right or good, but something just needs to fucking happen. And nobody else would do what he's willing to do. And so that's when, for lack of a better way to say this, like, you need someone like him. You know what I mean? It's like the CIA is a good example. Like, all the Black Ops shit that they do. You know what I mean? Like, no one wants to own up to that. No one wants to do it. But some of the shit needs to get done. You know what I mean? And so...
I got into a political place that I don't feel comfortable with.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we don't have to follow that. But I mean, it's like life is like that. You know what I mean? 95, 98, hopefully more % of the time, you know, everything can be gray. And we can talk about things in, you know, gray things, right? Yeah. But there are just a couple things that, whatever you want to say, black, white, however you want to say it, right, wrong, good, bad, whatever. There is no right answer. There is no good answer. It's all bad and terrible and disgusting, but something needs to be done. And in that case, heroes don't help. Villains are absolutely no help. You need someone with utter, complete, absolute clarity of perspective, whether anyone else agrees with it or not.
Maybe. I think that's why maybe you like that character. It's because he has that. Yes. And you're like, that's something, like, I wish I could do that. I wish I had the clarity of an understanding of this to make that decision.
But
and
do
I
we
think,
really? Yeah. Because, again, like the book says, most of the time, that clarity makes absolutely no sense. Because things aren't really that clear.
I think you cheer for him at least from like the halfway point on, like when he's yelling like, "You're not, or I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me."
Okay, I was like rooting for him then, but that's just because that was such a badass thing to say.
Yeah,
like, that was a total badass.
You're like
moment.
This guy, like they're out to get him, and he's gonna fight back. Like that guy was gonna shank him and murder him.
Yep.
And he threw fry oil on his face. He was like,
or like in the movie. He sets the whole thing up so the dude has to cut the guy's arms off.
Oh, yeah.
And then he finds a way to get out. Yeah.
And the guy that guy dies and is killed by Rorschach, like off screen.
Rorschach kills a lot of fucking people.
But Rorschach kills that guy, but that guy cuts some dude's arms off to try and kill Rorschach.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, they're all criminals. They're terrible people.
They're all wildly have it coming. And even early on in the book, when they're like, heroes were made illegal, everybody retired, everybody who wasn't with the government retired, except for Rorschach, who left a note saying, "I'm not going to fucking retire," attached to the corpse of a dead multiple rapist.
Yep.
And you're like, dang. Like, and you're like, that seems kind of nuts. And then later on, because he goes into and he's like, it gets more sympathetic and you see what he's doing and you're like, he killed that dude because he was a terrible dude. Like, and you start to feel more.
Yeah, and I think sympathetic is more the word I would use than like cheering for him. Like, there is a point where I do, like in the jail, yes, you cheer for him, but other than that, I wouldn't say that I ever cheered for him. I would say that I definitely became more sympathetic with his character.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
And maybe even at the end too, because if he goes out and reveals what happened to everyone, like that could end very badly for everyone else.
Well, I think it absolutely would. I mean, it would end badly for everyone.
Yeah, but then again, it does. You're like that kind of. You're right. Mass murdering is wrong. Like it's not okay.
Yep.
And no one should have to explain that. You should just be able to figure that out.
But, fuck. What's the guy's
Veidt?
Veidt. But Veidt also, his thing makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I
like
think
where he's coming from makes sense.
The book kind of eventually comes down against Veidt.
Yeah, I kind of get that sense, especially with the monologue, like when he breaks the Arctic thing and he breaks and kills the his right hand man or whatever.
I think the thing that comes down the most damning against Veidt in the book is when the Doomsday Clock resets. We see the smiley face on the guy's shirt, the ketchup. Reset the Doomsday Clock.
I don't know that I'm there yet. That doesn't sound familiar.
I thought it happened in the movie too. Maybe I'm wrong because there's this whole metaphor of the Doomsday Clock with the smiley face button, and it has that blood smear on it, and it mirrors the Doomsday Clock that has that countdown to midnight, and midnight is Doomsday.
I thought that was a button. The smiley face was a button.
It is a button, but the blood smear makes that like the hand of the Doomsday Clock approaching midnight.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And there's that metaphor going throughout. And then the last shot in the comic, and I thought the book too, was of a different smiley, now again approaching midnight, as Veidt's plan might be revealed to the public and might not. But the idea being that Veidt's thing was only temporary, was not a real solution, was not actually helpful with this kind of place. Like, it doesn't solve anything. It's just a delay.
Yeah.
That like an actual solution is necessary, not this kind of thing. And that Veidt's plan was to kill a bunch of people for like just a temporary salve to what is essentially, is a problem of a different sort. It's not one that superheroes can act on. Even someone like Veidt, like it's not a superhero problem. It's a real life problem.
See, something like, and this isn't even directly related to the comic, but kind of building on that idea, a question that I have then, because that's a very, very real, very relevant question all the time, because we have all these problems that are big fucking problems, right? And they're not superhero problems because superheroes don't exist, but like people act like, for example, let's say the economy, right? So we've got the elections going on, and we got Bernie Sanders supporters, we got Donald Trump supporters, we got Hillary Clinton supporters, and
I'm sure we have some supporters of other people than that, but
true, and
people who are like, I support no one.
Absolutely.
I support the deep sadness inside myself.
Oh God, yeah, the utter void of hope. But no, so what's kind of disturbing to me, and I still do this sometimes, but what's upsetting to me is people seem to be proposing solutions, static solutions that they think will work in perpetuity. Mm-hmm. That's not how things work.
I mean, that's why other countries have like expirations and stuff on their constitutions, and they have to rework constitutions at certain dates.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's why we're supposed to have like term limits and stuff like that. Well, for the president anyway, we need fucking term limits.
And
anyway.
why laws have expiration dates?
Yes, sunsets and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and what I guess what gets me and what I find just incredibly frustrating,
and
is
everything has expiration dates except for copyright. No expiration on copyright.
What gets me is that people seem to understand that all these other things have expiration dates. Like these things over here, laws, presidents, everyone wants term limits for the House and the Senate and all that kind of stuff. Nothing there works in perpetuity. But my idea for the economy and for the way the government should run, that will work forever. That's the answer. No, there is no answer. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I like about, even though I haven't finished it, that I like about the Watchmen comic, is that so far what it seems to be presenting is that there is no answer. Everything is temporary. Like every solution requires context. And all context for a solution is like razor thin. Like it's dancing on the head of a pin, right? And the wind blowing the wrong way, the slightest change in global policy or whatever will render whatever current solution we have inoperable and irrelevant. And that's just people desire what is ultimately most harmful to them. We just do. That's how we're wired. And I think a really great example of that is that people ultimately desire stasis. We seek a state that we perceive as being good or pleasant or nice or fun that will be unending and unchanging. That's death. The only state of stasis that exists in reality is death.
Yeah, nobody likes change, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the change is life.
Yeah.
So if you avoid change, you're avoiding life. And if you're trying to implement something that will work in perpetuity, that's a fool's errand. Yeah, I don't want to get too over political. And I guess
what I'm hearing
that's
is
what I like about Watchmen is that it seems to be presenting this idea that yes, you have this absolute moral absolution, right? This black and white view of things, and while that has a place, it doesn't work across the board. And you also have this pragmatic approach, which is Vite, which works on a small scale. Like maybe in my individual life, a pragmatic approach works to things, right? I can break a few eggs to make an omelet, fine. But when you're talking about a global level or a national level or even a state level or when a community, breaking eggs has a different connotation there. You know what I mean? Like you can't force some people to suffer for the betterment of others. That doesn't work. But what does? Not everyone can be happy all the time. You know what I mean? Not everyone can be successful or well all the time. What do you do? And there's no answer. And that's, I think, what Watchmen says, is like, there is no answer. There is no one to watch out for us. There are no superheroes. There are no Watchmen. If there was, who would watch them? Well, who would watch the people watching them? Who would ultimately be responsible? God. That's where it has to end. God is just the end point for responsibility. Or it's just got fucking religious. Sorry. And scene.
Yes, and that god is Zesh.
Zesh? Who the fuck is Zesh?
Warhammer 40k, god of change.
Ooh,
praise the god of change.
I like that.
And mutation and putting eyeballs where they don't belong.
Don't know if I like that, but I like the god of change part.
His arch nemesis is Nurgle, god of stagnation and plague and disease.
Ooh, stagnation, plague, and disease. Putting those together? That's interesting. That's really interesting. That makes a lot of sense.
And then there's Khorne, god of war and rage and other kind of ragey war things. And then there's Slanesh, god of pleasure. And then they all have kind of positive aspects too. And so...
Yeah, I don't think it was on a podcast, but we talked about this before. One of the things that, like, you like about Warhammer is, like, it's, like, every character is good and bad. Like, they're all, like, gray, right? Like,
well, they're kind of evil, but... Yeah, I mean, yeah, everybody's pretty gray. It's pretty grimdark. Everyone's pretty grimdark. Which... I
mean, it's called Warhammer.
Yeah. It pretty much... I think it is the origin of the term grimdark. Because at the beginning of books, like every book, there's this little quote that just summarizes the universe.
Like, is it no, that's Fallout. War is hell is Fallout.
Oh, yeah. But it's like that. It's like, hey, we have this thing. War never changes. Except... Warhammer's is longer. It's like 2 paragraphs. But
nice.
But it has the phrase, in the grim dark future, there is only war. And people took that and just smushed it together. So there's just grim dark. And it's just a trait of a genre. It's grim dark. So it is.
So like Mad Max would be grim dark.
Maybe, yeah. It's unrelentingly dark and almost to like a morkish, like overblown.
Morkish?
Yeah, like a.
What's that?
Like a whatchamacallit? What's the phrase I'm looking for? Melodramatic. Kind of
gotcha.
Like overblown, overdone level. So,
which is so odd to me. I'm sorry. I just want to say really quick. The term melodramatic is really weird to me because mellow means like soft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But melodramatic means like way overdone. And I'm like, wait, what? Like whoever was responsible for
that word.
Yeah. Just
fucked
failed.
It up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No. But yeah. So yeah, like Nurgle loves his followers deeply and truly. Loves them and shows his love by infecting them with horrid diseases. But he loves them.
Do they love this?
Yes. They love being infected by horrible diseases.
Oh my God.
And being full of sores and pus that empowers them with great strength and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, generally speaking.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting trade-off. I wonder what for me, I wonder what the balance would be. Because I'll tell you what. Even if I had fucking sores and pus and I was sick, if I was strong enough to, like, I don't know, throw a car on me, that might be a good trade-off.
Yeah, if you were, like, empowered, you're faster, stronger, better.
Oh, yeah.
Also sick, but also the sickness didn't kill you ever. You're basically immortal, but sick all the time.
Ultimate question, could I still fuck? That's really the ultimate question.
Yeah,
you don't have to answer it, but that's the ultimate question.
He's Lord of Disease, I'm pretty sure you can. There's a lot of diseases that work that way.
Oh, that's true. That's fair. That's fair.
So I'm sure
It would just have to be like follower on follower action. Like keep all that sickness contained.
And then Zesh doesn't love anyone. Zesh is arch rival.
Wait, Zesh is the god of who again?
Change. All his followers are pawns. He doesn't care about their life, just their usefulness to him.
Interesting.
So, but yeah. Anyway, that's 40K. It's just it's a great thing. I mean,
cool.
40K is kind of cool. I've been kind of thinking about getting into it again. Maybe it's expensive as shit though.
Oh,
it just gets more expensive all the time.
Well, and time consuming too. I mean, well, what are you talking about getting into it? Like, are you talking about like painting the pieces and stuff and like building sets and everything too? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Like, God, I want to do that so bad. I've actually done that multiple times. Oh yeah. But it's just so time consuming. I miss doing it.
I've been watching YouTube videos. Ooh, I should plug. I don't remember his name. I'll try and.
Yada yada yada.
I'm just gonna grab my phone while I'm talking. I'm gonna try and pull it up. But I've been watching these painting videos where the guy's going through, and he's painting Star Wars Imperial Assault, the board game.
Oh,
has a set of minifigures, and he's been going through and painting them, and doing tutorials on how to paint all of them. And the tutorials are really good, and it's this guy with this like little bit of a British accent. Just very chill talking about the tutorials. And it's very pleasant and they're really good. And I'm really impressed by like how good they are and how it really, I'm watching them. I'm like, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. That's cool. It's like he's laying out the steps really well. So I've been thinking about getting back into that for sure. Oh yeah. Sorastro's painting, SORASTRO 'S painting.
And that's the YouTube channel?
That's the YouTube channel, yeah.
Nice.
Very cool, very neat, good tutorial videos. Goes through painting base coats and then washes and highlights and all kinds of stuff. It's super cool. And I've just been sitting there like, want to do some of that again.
Yeah, I used to be super into painting, like just art in general, painting, drawing. I was really, I actually got pretty good at pencil, like just drawing in pencil. And I remember, so I had, this was high school. I didn't do any of my assignments in art correctly at all. None of them, like not even close. And it was because I honestly didn't understand what the teacher was saying. Like when the teacher said something, like for example, one of the assignments was there were there's a chair, just some chair boxes, stuff in the middle of the room.
Yeah,
and the students were sitting around, and she said, "Paint what you see."
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know she meant paint what's in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
I daydream a lot. So I was daydreaming and I drew what I was daydreaming. And it was like a chair and there was like fields in the background and like dog, whatever. And I still got a B because she's like, this isn't at all what I told you to do. But technically you were drawing what you saw just, in your mind's eye. But yeah, God, I used to love that so much. It's so much. I would love to get back into it. Again, it's so time consuming. You know what I mean? Especially to do it well.
It's kind of relaxing.
I shouldn't make excuses. Yes, that's what I was thinking too.
Like, and you can sit down and do it while you're listening to a podcast or watching a TV show that you don't have to watch too clearly, like directly with your eyeballs.
Yeah, that's not how I work. A podcast I could do that with. I could have in the background, but not a TV show.
Star Trek TNG, or maybe most of the Star Trek series, I've seen them, like, especially TNG, I've seen all of it probably like 4 or 5 or 6 times. Like, even episodes that I don't like, I've seen that many times.
Nice.
So I can just put that on in the background, and I'm like, yep, this is that episode, and I'm listening to it, and it's fine, and,
I hadn't thought about that. That's a good idea. Like, put on stuff that I've already watched.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Because you don't need to like keep up with your eyeballs as much if you've seen it already. So yeah, that'd be good. I'd like to do that again. I have to buy a whole new set of paints and stuff. So
that'd be awesome.
It's a bit of an investment in that. Also, Warhammer is pretty fun to play. Actually, I don't like it.
Yeah, I've never played Warhammer, but I've played those types of games a few times. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're good.
Like they're really good for socializing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's what my friends and I, when we played them, we'd sit down and we'd play a game and it'd take 4 hours or whatever. But it was mostly just us sitting there talking and then fighting and then being like, fuck you. How dare you? You fucking destroy my...
Yeah. Especially when drinking is involved. It gets totally crazy. Yeah. Man, okay. So you know what? You should get back into it. I should get into it for the first time. We should build shit and we should play.
That'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
We could go down to one of the there's some stores where you can go and play too, and they have like tables and terrain.
Yeah. I know there was one out at the Mills Mall. I don't know if it's still there or not.
Nope. Don't think so.
Did it move or did it go out of business?
There's still a Games Workshop store.
That's the one. Yeah.
But it's at it's in West County, and you can still go there, and it has really awful hours. They're open between like 9 and 2 p.m., 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday or something. They have weird, not great hours like that, where I was like, yeah, okay, I don't.
Never mind. So, like, where would be good places to go?
Game night is good. There's a couple other places like that. The Warhammer store was never a great place to go. At least the Games Workshop store here didn't have tables at the Mills, so it wasn't really space for you to play so much.
I thought I remember seeing. Maybe I'm thinking of.
They had like a demo table, and they might have had like 1 or 2 tables.
Yeah.
But other places like the Fantasy Shop and Game Night have like 12 tables. So there's a bunch of people who can be playing at once, and they have like a shelf of terrains. You can go and grab some terrain pieces and put them down and play.
What about Does Game Haven have Warhammer?
I don't know what that is.
That's a was it St. Anne maybe? They have a lot of like retro games, and I know they have Pokemon tournaments there. I feel like they have Warhammer stuff too. Maybe
there's a place.
Maybe I should look that up.
There's a place called Ogre, down in the not Central West End, but down off Kings Highway. This is getting way too local for this, but
we love St. Louis.
Yeah. But Ogre has a lot of Magic stuff. And every time I'd gone there, it was just like all Magic. They had a little bit of 40K stuff. But last time I went there, and this was like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, they were trying to get into 40K, and they'd set up a couple of tables. So maybe That might be totally legit now.
Oh, nice. Now, is 40K, is Warhammer in general, is that Wizards of the Coast, or is that somebody else?
No, Wizards of the Coast does Magic the Gathering and Pokemon.
With Pokemon? I thought Nintendo did Pokemon.
Not the cards. The cards are by Wizards of the Coast. That's why they're almost sort of really close to Magic. I mean, there's differences for sure, but they're kind of close to Magic and how they work.
But didn't Nintendo create Pokemon?
Yes.
And Wizards of the Coast just makes the cards, right?
Wizards of the Coast makes the card game.
Okay. That's what I thought.
But Games Workshop is a UK company that makes Warhammer and Warhammer 40K. But they're based in the UK.
Games Workshop makes Warhammer.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay, so I thought Games Workshop was just a local game store.
Oh, no, that's
the mills.
Yeah. They make Warhammer and Warhammer 40K, and they're British, which is why the Space Marines tank and main personnel, or not main, but their biggest personnel carrier is called the Land Raider, because it's a joke about Land Rovers, because the British Army uses Land Rovers. Where we use Hummers, they use Land Rovers.
Oh.
And so this thing is called a Land Raider, and you're like, it's a thing. Okay. Well, in the first iteration of 40K, it was not grimdark. It was mostly silly.
That's what I remember. And then, I don't remember exactly when it got dark, but I remember when I was much younger, I actually liked 40K a lot because it was just, way over the top, silly, everything just super big explosions, massive guns everywhere. And then, at some point, it got,
really dark.
I don't want to say legit, but dark and, whatever, and, almost like it was trying to be Fallout. Yeah.
I think... it just got dark over time. I think the novels that started coming out played a big part in it. The first Ian Banks? No, I don't think that's right. Anyway, Inquisition War was one of the first novels that came out, full-length novels about the universe. And it was super dark, crazy dark. And I think those kind of things kind of set the tone. And also they made changes to differentiate it from Warhammer, the tabletop. Warhammer Fantasy Warhammer, which has dwarves and stuff. And 40K originally had space dwarves, and then they killed off all the space dwarves because they're this needs to not be just a fantasy game in space. We need to differentiate this product to make it its own thing. So then they got rid of dwarves, and there used to be Rainbow Marines, and then they got rid of the Rainbow Marines because they were too rainbowy.
Because they weren't. What was the term you said?
Grimdark enough.
Grimdark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rainbow's not very grimdark.
Yeah, the Rainbow Marines got destroyed by the Inquisition.
Inquisition, pretty grimdark.
The Inquisition, very grimdark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Maybe this isn't actually a thing. Maybe I just think it is because of my limited exposure. But it seems like novels of nerd things in general tend to be pretty dark. The Star Wars novels that I've read, I've only read a few of them. And they're more recent Star Wars novels, but those are pretty dark too. Those are really dark.
I remember the Star Wars novels that I read being so dark and serious, but I also read them when I was in elementary school or middle school. So I'm not sure how reliable that memory is.
Maybe it's not a generational thing, but maybe it's a more modern thing. Maybe in general when they were years ago, they weren't so dark, but maybe it's just been a trend because the books, there's Paragon, whatever. There's three of them. It's a 3-part series, and all of them they were good. I thought they were very good, but they were all very dark. Sorry, Star Wars.
Oh, for Star Wars, yeah,
and they're pretty new. I want to say maybe 2009, 2010.
I really enjoyed the Jedi Apprentice books.
Yeah, I never read those,
which were all about Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn. When Obi-Wan was young and Qui-Gon Jinn's apprentice.
Yeah.
They're young adult novels, and I cannot remember. I remember them being very cool, and they Qui-Gon Jinn's last apprentice before Obi-Wan turned to the dark side, and I think he made an appearance in something recently.
Really?
Can't remember what it was. But yeah.
Can we just say really quick that I think it's good that the hate on the young adult genre seems to have dissipated.
Oh,
because, and I think maybe it was fueled primarily by Twilight, but I remember hearing for a long time, young adult is crap, blah, blah, blah. No, it's really not.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good stuff.
There's a lot of good stuff. There's some stuff that's let's take something else that is an adult novel and rework it for children.
Yeah.
I do sometimes see that. And sometimes some stuff is like, feels really, really like somebody sat down and was like, what do girls ages 19 to ages 9 to 13 really enjoy? Let's make a list and then make a novel based on it. Yeah. And you're like, all right, come on. What is this? Pegasus and Pony and fairy books.
Don't hate on My Little Pony.
My Little Pony's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Dude, I'm a fucking brony all the way through. Although I gotta admit, I haven't seen, I forget what season I saw, like maybe the first 3, at least the first
I think I watched
seasons.
the first 3.
Yeah, so the last season I saw was a Discord. Like toward the end, Discord was in a lot of it. And it was John Delancey as Discord.
Oh, I love John Delancey as Discord.
Right?
He's like, I'm Q, but in a children's show. How's it going, guys?
That's exactly what it was. It was awesome. Oh my god, it was so good. But like My Little Pony was legit good. Like it was good stories, good characters.
I really appreciate the musical episodes.
Yeah.
I like a musical, and I like a TV show that's just like, congratulations, this is a musical episode.
Yes.
It's great. Scrubs did it that one time.
I thought Scrubs did it more than once.
Did they? I only remember the one time where the woman has like a horrible brain tumor that makes her think that everybody's in a musical.
Oh god. Oh my god.
Yeah, that one.
I don't remember that one.
And that in the very Scrubsy way is like, oh, funny, happy, musical.
Yeah, very dark.
Also, that woman's dying. That's not good.
She's so good. Oh my god, the show.
Which is very MASH too.
Yeah.
It's a mix of tones a lot.
Oh yeah. We're gonna make Vietnam funny, but it's still Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Vietnam though, it's Korea. But
what?
It's
Was it really?
Yeah, MASH is in Korea.
Why did I think it was Vietnam?
Because it's all a metaphor for Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
Because Vietnam was happening, and they didn't make a show about like Vietnam during Vietnam.
Oh,
where they're criticizing Vietnam. They made a show about Korea, the Korean War, that was actually about Vietnam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and also Batman Brave and the Bold, which might be one of my favorite Batman things ever.
Wait, even beyond Batman the animated series?
Yeah. I haven't watched that much Batman the animated series recently. I watched maybe the first season or 2. And it's kind of hit or miss, at least in the first season or 2.
Really? Oh my god, that is hands down my favorite animated series.
I think it might have taken a while to get kind of into the swing, but there's a lot of episodes where I'm like, this is kind of a kid's episode. There's not a whole lot going on.
Maybe it's just because I saw it when I was a kid, but I remember thinking it was like really heavy, like not.
I think it gets. There's definitely some episodes that are really good, and there's definitely like Heart of Ice, amazing. Heart of Ice is really the introduction and rework of Mr. Freeze.
Oh god,
into like a tragic character.
Oh yeah,
really good. The introduction of Harley Quinn. There's a lot of good things that happened, but I think especially early on, there's a lot of episodes that are just kind of nothing. There's nothing really going on in them.
Interesting. Okay. Maybe I should go back and watch that again.
I do. I
like Mark Hamill's Joker in that show.
Oh, really good. Also,
Fucking, oh my god, like easily goes toe to toe with Heath Ledger's. I think.
And Justice League Unlimited also. Really good, I think.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Yeah, that's on Netflix. Netflix keeps showing that to me.
It's good. I really like Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, which are the same universe, same Batman, Kevin Conroy. It takes place in the same continuity.
Good. Okay.
But it's just Justice League. And I like that a lot. But what were we talking about that this came up? My Little Pony?
Yes. And like kids' cartoons.
Oh, yeah. Musicals. And then Batman Brave and the Bold, which is really good and has some musical episodes.
Really?
And introduces one of my favorite Batman villains, which is the Music Meister, whose power is that he can sing and mind control people with singing, but it makes them take part in a musical led by him.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that does sound awesome.
So the whole episode is a musical, but where he's drafting people into his musical that forces them to do what he wants.
Oh, that would be cool.
And it stars like the main characters in it are the Music Meister and Batman and Black Canary and Green Arrow. And Black Canary because the Music Meister falls in love with her because she has the best voice because she's Black Canary, and her power is the voice thing. Oh yeah, she can scream and knock people down with vocal blasts of sonic power. Yeah. So yeah, and then in the comic books, she and Green Arrow have a long-standing romance and romantic entanglement, but they don't in this universe. But it comes up in this, and then Green Arrow's like, I love her, and she's like, I love Batman because Batman's the fucking coolest.
Oh no!
And the Music Meister's like, I love her though because she's the perfect singer, and Batman's like,
it's very why can't I'm thinking Phantom Menace? It's not Phantom of the Opera.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Phantom of the Opera.
And Batman's like, there's a man stealing shit and trying to take over the world by singing. Could you guys get your shit together, please? And Batman in that is played by one of the sidekick guys from the Drew Carey show. And I would never have expected him to be Batman, but he is an amazing Batman. You remember the Drew Carey show?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a great show.
Who's the
musicals? They especially later in the show, they did a lot with musicals.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There was like, I remember there was a rash of like musical stuff on TV for a couple seasons. It was just everywhere. And Drew Carey, I remember saying that he just thought it was a lot of fun and it was a really good way to like reinvigorate the cast because it was something new and different, and you know they had to really work for it, and so it made the whole show much better. And so they did. I want to say there was like 2 seasons where they did several musical episodes, and then they did they reworked the intro so that, or maybe they didn't rework the intro. Maybe it was the whole series. I forget. Where it was this huge musical number. Yeah. You know, and it was just like, and that was, when it happened, that was totally different and totally out of the norm. For
Drew Carey show was good. But yeah, it was Diedrich Bader, this guy.
No way, really?
Yeah.
He's Batman? He's a good Batman?
He's an amazing Batman in this.
Oh my God, because he's fucking hilarious.
And Batman Brave and the Bold is a campy, like, comedy Batman.
Oh, really?
He's mostly the straight man in it, but it works really well.
So is he like Adam Westy Batman?
A little bit. It's not. I like it a lot more than Adam West Batman.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I like Adam West Batman quite a bit.
Oh, you probably like
not in the same way that I like Michael Keaton Batman or Christian Bale Batman, obviously. But I mean, for what it was, the 1960s Batman was not bad.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just that it wasn't the Batman that people wanted because it's not fucking Batman. But it was a good show, and like Adam West did a good job. Like he's fucking Adam West. He's not like a broad ranged actor.
I was watching the whatchamacallit, the movie, and they have a whole scene where they're getting into a helicopter and they like show the outside of the helicopter and then they cut to the inside of the helicopter, and that cut just cuts the inside of the helicopter, shows them putting on their seatbelts, and then cuts back to the outside. And that made me laugh super hard because it's just like, we just edited in this part just to show you Batman wears his seatbelt. I was like, yeah, all right, thanks.
The Batman PSA, Batman safety PSA.
Because that Batman is so like, come on, Robin, let's put on our seatbelts because we must always be safe when in a car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
It's hilarious. It has Aquaman. I think Aquaman is... what's his name? John DiMaggio? John DiMaggio. Bender from Futurama.
Oh, wow.
Jake the Dog. Marcus Phoenix.
Wow.
And he's like...
Wait, Marcus Phoenix from...
Gears of War.
Wow.
Yeah. John DiMaggio is really good. But yeah, he... and he's like a boisterous... Like, he's always like, come on, good chum, let's go fight some guys. I love a fight. And that's Aquaman. It's a great Aquaman, too.
Oh, my God. And this is Batman Brave and the Bold?
Yeah.
All right. I got to check that. Is this on Netflix?
It was on Netflix or Amazon for a while. I don't think it is anymore. I'm not sure. You'll have to look and see.
All right. I'll take a look, yeah.
I highly recommend it.
We better, so that I can remember, put this in the show notes for the show so I can look it up.
Well, I mean, that's you, man.
Oh, shit. You're right. Hey, me, remember to put this in the show notes. Oh, my God, I'm so tired. This has been such a long day. Good, but long day.
Yeah, we're about an hour and 10 minutes into this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. We maybe call this now?
Yeah, I think this is good. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So this has been a fun, just us sitting down talking about shit.
Yeah.
A potpourri episode, if you will.
We were both really busy today episode.
Absolutely.
And instead of just being like, nah, fuck you guys, you don't get a show today, we were like, no, we can't do that to our fans. We can't.
Way.
There's no way.
Too much.
Well, but we did do this. What just happened?
That's right, exactly.
That's what happened.
We love you way too much to not do a show, but not enough to do a whole bunch of research to talk about actual topics that are happening right now. So we just sit down and talk about shit that we care about.
This is Egghead Anarchy Under the Shell, where we just sit down and have a regular conversation.
Well, you know what it is? It's just Egghead Anarchy, because it's whatever the fuck we want to do. It's what it is. And something to look forward to. We, and by we I mean Alex, is currently hard at work on editing Let's Plays that are going to be coming out whenever they're done. Because you know what? We work the same way Blizzard does. We don't release stuff on a schedule. We release it when it's done.
Yeah.
So it's good, high quality.
When it looks good. And when I have transitions.
That's
and like
right.
a fade and things.
That's right.
And it looks...
And hilarious text. These videos are going to be great, guys. Oh my God. You're going to love these. They're gonna, oh my God. So I got to watch a little preview of what Alex was working on earlier today. Fucking awesome stuff. Seriously. Oh my God. It's hilarious. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
I'm glad you think so. You're talking me up. I hope I live up to that.
Oh, fuck, you will. You will. You will. It's going to be good. And fuck, we get to play retro games and talk about it. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. So you'll have multiple ways to consume the Eggheads. You got this program right here. It's a fabulous, wonderful program. And then you'll have, what is the name of the Let's Play series, Alex?
What did we say? Oh, shoot. I've forgotten again.
The Eggheads Play.
The Eggheads Play,
oh,
yeah.
Oh my God, the intro theme. Oh my God, I fucking love it. Okay. I will stop talking about this now, but I'm so excited for this. I think you guys are really going to like it. And what the schedule's going to be like one a day, Monday through Friday.
Maybe.
So the first few, maybe not.
Yeah.
But the plan is Monday through Friday, roughly half an hour every day.
Yeah.
Tons of retro content. It's going to be great.
So, yeah, if you want to contact us, I am Senior Don Gatto on Twitter.
I am BSG Bryan on Twitter. We have an Egghead Anarchy account on Twitter, which is just Egghead Anarchy. We also have the Egghead Anarchy Facebook page and eggheadanarchy.com. We're also on Stitcher. We're in the iTunes directory, so any podcast app that supports iTunes. And I think the next front for us is going to be Google Play, getting in the Google Play Store. So we will let you know when
we're on Burberry or whatever that was.
Oh yeah. Blueberry. Blueberry. I have no idea.
We don't know. We just Google searched ourselves.
Yeah,
and
we
found that
stumble on it. Yeah,
we were added to some list on some other app.
Yes,
and they had a page for us, and we were like, "Well, that's interesting.
That's awesome."
I was like, "Brian, did you make this?" And you were like, "No."
Yeah.
So yeah, see you guys next week.